people of the internet. My name is Mia Cotton, and welcome back to Seduce Me the Otome. On the last episode, we ended on a rather dismal note. Our grandpa died. Yeah, we're gonna have fun in this fun dating simulator about dating sex demons. Anyway, our mom's making us lasagna, so that's good. Small graces, a woman after my own Italian heart. Alright. Thanks, Mom. However, my dad didn't speak the entire drive home. I wanted to talk to him, but after his moment at the funeral, not after this moment, we're in the car now. I wasn't sure if that was a good idea.
It's about time we took off those dreary black clothes.
You're not wearing black, you are wearing green. Everything you are wearing is... I'm not even wearing black. My dad must be colorblind on top of just being a turd. I had a setup for a thing there, and then it just went away. Just like Grandpa. That was in poor taste, I'm sorry. Gathering my courage, I decided that it was time to talk. Dad, could I ask you something?
Go ahead.
Okay, calm your fucking attitude, Jesus. Why do you want me to move into the estate so soon?
I thought I made that rather clear. The college near your grandfather's house is well known for its business program. You are planning to major in business, yes?
You're one of these parents.
Right after you graduate from high school, you'll just live there and can easily commute to and from school. It's a perfect fit for you.
But it's so sudden. You just decided so quickly right after the funeral, on the same day that your dad died.
Don't be so sensitive. If you're like that in the real world, you'll be crushed.
What is your problem? What is your damage, my dude? I'm just saying that maybe we could talk a bit more about my future. In reply, my father rubbed his temples and sighed quietly.
After you graduate from college, you'll work at Anderson Family Toys. I have connections since I am part of the board of directors.
Oh, he does work.
So you will be guaranteed a spot. That is what we talked about before, yes?
But what if...
Stop mumbling.
But what if I don't want to work there? Did I enunciate enough for you, Father?
Don't be silly. It's the family company. Our company. I'm not just going to hand it over to some incompetent vice chairman.
Oh my god, you need to chill. He came closer to me and his face softened.
Look, this is all for the best, okay? You may not know it right now, but you will appreciate it later.
Uh-huh. For some reason, when I heard him say that, something snapped in me. I wasn't exactly sure what it was. Maybe a disc in my spine or something, but it still made me feel so angry. Do you even care that grandfather passed away?
Of course I do.
Bitch, no you don't! Well, everything seems so fine and dandy to you. Things couldn't be better.
Excuse me? I don't like your tone, young lady.
It's like nothing ever even happened at all. Like you just ignored the fact that he's no longer here.
Do not raise your voice at me.
What did he even... I'm interrupting you. Shut up. What did he ever do to you to deserve this? My father, his face hardened, crossed his arms and erupted in angry laughter.
Ha! You sure place him upon a pedestal. Like he's some kind of venerated god or something. It makes me sick.
Nobody tells me anything in this house. Is that it? Are you happy seeing grandfather dead? While everyone was grieving, were you holding yourself back from laughing in everyone's faces? Did you feel just a bit happier seeing him lie in the graveyard? Oh my Jesus Christ! A flash of rage crossed his face and he whipped the back of his hand across my cheek. What the fuck? I just wanted to date some sex demons. Why is my dad hitting me?
You don't know anything! Running your mouth like somehow you know everything that went on, when you're just a little girl that doesn't know how to keep her mouth shut!
What the fuck?
You did not know my father! You did not know what he was capable of!
I'm stunned, so I don't even know what to... This...
Is everything all right? What happened?
Your husband hit me! Nothing. I'm not hungry. I think I'll just go upstairs.
Honey, wait!
I quickly turned and ran up the stairs to my room, slamming the door behind me. My breath came in short pants, and for a short while, I just leaned against the door to my bedroom, eventually sliding down to sit against it. How did things become like this? My cheeks still throbbed, and I tentatively stood up and looked at the mirror to see how it looked. Hopefully it doesn't bruise. What am I saying? Tears formed in the corner of my eyes, but I blinked them back rapidly. I couldn't cry for the second time today. I had to be stronger than that.
Are you all right? Your father told me nothing happened, but you know your father.
This is a very toxic household. I'm glad I'm moving out. This sucks. I'm fine. I just lost my appetite.
The lasagna's done, though. And I don't want you skipping any meals. Are you sure?
Yeah. Don't worry about me, Mom. I'll come downstairs later to eat.
You're not telling me the whole story.
I just don't want to eat right now.
Please, dear. Tell me what's going on. I wish you would tell me why you're being like this.
Maybe it's because my father just slapped me. Like, what the fuck? I wanted to tell her. A part of me was screaming to tell her what Dad had done. At the same time, I knew she couldn't fix anything. Besides, I was moving out regardless. I remained silent, letting the event remain in the past.
Well, I'll leave your food on the table if you want to eat it later.
Finally, my mom left me alone. It was strange to think that she was only a few inches away from me, only separated by a single wooden door. I really didn't know what to do. I needed to do something, anything to get my mind off what just happened. Anything would be better than thinking about... Sentence happened. Anything would be better than thinking any more about the pain still radiating from my cheek. I was going to move into my grandfather's house tomorrow. I should probably pack my stuff so I wouldn't be prepared for tomorrow. Yeah, that was a good idea. I should start packing. I opened my closet, rummaging around for a while before I finally found 2 large bags. Pulling them out onto the floor of my room, I then began to empty my drawers and cabinets so that I could bring all my things with me. I didn't have much to bring other than just my clothes and some toiletries. It was kind of bizarre that I didn't have many personal belongings. What about all the stuff that's on shelves in my room? This is... I'm very... I have a lot of... Okay. It wasn't like my luggage was completely devoid of them, but I certainly didn't have many things in my room that I would miss if I just suddenly left the house. I shook my head to get rid of those thoughts. If it were going to be my new home, it would have to feel like it. One way or another, I was going to make it a home. And I could always come back for this stuff later. I would assume so. Oh. Just as I was packing my things, my cell phone began ringing and vibrating in my pocket. Hang on, I'm jamming out to this. Oh, it's over. I slid my phone out of my pocket and answered it while slowly easing myself onto my bed. Who could possibly be calling?
Hey, Anderson, you there? Is everything all right? We were worried about you, so we decided to call.
Aww. Oh, that's like an old model iPhone. That's like an... I say old model iPhone. I'm dating this video. But, I mean, it's still going to be an old model no matter what. Mm-hmm.
Hello?
I'm really glad you guys called. My voice managed to come out, though it was only a whisper.
What happened? Are you okay?
Well... I slowly began to tell them about the funeral that afternoon. A small silence followed when I was done recounting what happened, and to my relief, Naomi finally spoke up.
I can't begin to imagine how you must be feeling right now. I'm so sorry. Do you want us to come over right now?
No, it's okay. My dad isn't in a good mood. So, could we just keep talking on the phone like this?
Of course! We'd stay on the phone until the crack of dawn. Right, Suzu? Yeah. We're always here if you need us. After all, we wouldn't be the awesome triple threat trio without you, right?
Aw. Yeah.
Triple threat trio? That sounds like the name of a gang. Yeah, I mean, we're all taking on the world together. We've got to sound somewhat scary, or else no one's going to take us seriously. What's with you and naming things? You've got to step up your game, Naomi. Falling behind the cool kids like Anderson and me. Tisk, tisk. Hey! I'm a cool kid. If anything, I'd say you'd have to step up your game.
Aw. We chatted cheerfully about all sorts of things. Very soon I had forgotten about the events of that day and was engaged in a conversation about Naomi's favorite TV show, some program called Herlock. Oh God, I'm getting 2012 Mia flashbacks. We all agreed that the actor playing the titular character certainly had a very distinctive look about him, with that long overcoat and scarf wrapped around his neck. We had many disagreements about who we thought was the coolest character. Yeah, he has really high cheekbones, and his eyes are pretty, though I do have to say I prefer Jotson, and as a bonus, his actor is just so sassy. They're not even being subtle with it. Oh boy. I looked at the clock hanging on the wall and realized how late it was. Whoa, it's already 1 a.m.? Sorry for keeping you guys up so late. I think I'm gonna hit the hay tonight. See you guys at school tomorrow. I should probably shower and go to bed. I can't believe I stayed up this late just talking to my friends. But it was really nice. Well, to the bathroom I go! Away! I took a relaxing shower. Nothing beat hot water and the feeling of being clean. After drying myself, I promptly dressed in my pajamas and crawled into bed. I crawled into bed. My inner monologue is English now. A nice hot shower after a long day. I'm so glad to finally be in bed. Me. It had been a really long day. I knew that I was wishing... Ugh. Why can I not English? I knew that I was wishing for something to change back in class, but I certainly wasn't expecting any of the things that happened today. And I had to go back to school tomorrow. Ugh. I curled up on my side and tightly wrapped my blankets around me. I really wasn't in the mood to be returning to school, but my dad probably would make me go just for the sake of it. It's time to go to sleep. I reached out to the lamp on my nightstand and turned off the lights. However, my mind was so lost in the passing of my grandfather and the thought of inheriting something so big that it haunted my mind the entire night until the next morning. I shook my head to try to clear the sleepiness out of me to no avail. I really didn't get any sleep last night. It's already time to wake up? Wait, school. As soon as I realized I had to go to school, I slid out of bed and looked at the vanity mirror. That's a relief. Luckily, there was barely a bruise on my cheek. This is very... I'm definitely going to have to put a trigger warning on this series. I'm probably going to have to put the content warning from the beginning on, most of the... probably all of the videos in this series. But, anyway, you had to squint to actually see it. I doubt anyone would actually notice it unless they leaned in really close. Breathing out a sigh, I got dressed, took my backpack, and caught the bus to go to school. It wasn't even hours before everyone heard the news. I was approached in school and given condolences for my loss. However, that wasn't what shocked my friends.
Wait, so you have the whole Anderson house to yourself? Lucky as hell, man! Quit being so sensitive, Naomi.
Quit being so vulgar, Suzu.
I mean, I'm not sure. This doesn't really seem like an either-or situation. I'm very confused. Fuck it, Suzu's right.
Of course you would side with her.
Shut up! I'm craving!
See? At least she knows how to have fun.
I know how to have fun. You don't need to be wild to have fun.
Guys, I'm going there after school today because my parents want me to get used to living there.
Seriously? It hasn't even been a day since you came back to school.
Well, I don't know if you've noticed, but my father kind of sucks. I know, but my parents want me to try living there as soon as possible.
Still, that's really fast. Are you going to be okay?
No! Of course! But even in the comfort of my best friend's life seemed to keep testing me. Ah! Why does everybody keep hitting me?
Hey! Don't go around shoving people like that.
Whoops. Did I strike a nerve, Capini?
Oh, God. Oh, God. I don't want you to be a romantic interest anymore. You seem like a bitch. She let out a small laugh as she twirled her hair around her finger. Lisette, one of the last people I wanted to see today. Your shirt is definitely a dress code violation. Like, especially for American high schools, like, that would be a straight-up dress code violation. They can see your stomach! They can't know that you have one! Okay, moving on.
It's not me you should be apologizing to.
Oh, Anderson. Hey, how's it going?
I'm alright.
Haven't you already heard, Lizette?
Of what?
Her grandfather's passing.
Well, I'm sorry about that. I don't really watch a lot of news.
What the...
It doesn't really sound like you mean it.
I do mean it. Earnestly. Why wouldn't I?
Typical Capini. Isn't her family involved with the mafia or something? I wouldn't be surprised if she brought out a bat from behind her back right this moment.
Wow. I'd nearly forgotten the crowd that followed Lisette, which was mostly comprised of people that no one wanted to see on a typical school day. They're all invisible. They're just, like, blending into the background because nobody likes to see them. Heh! I made it connect! Sort of. No one had the slightest idea why exactly they followed Lisette around persistently, but they labeled themselves as social equals with her.
That is out of line. Suzu comes from an honest family.
Says the one whose family profits from political scandals.
Okay, you need to leave.
Yeah, your dad doesn't make anything unless he's in the court with dirty politicians.
Hey, let's all calm down for a second, alright? I'm sure Anderson needs some time to recuperate. I mean, what just happened? We need to give her some respect.
Oh my god, look at you being the reasonable one. What is happening? Are we... Just stop. Stop acting like that already. Like you feel sorry for me.
What are you talking about?
I'm sure... Ugh. Hang on. I need to get myself in a mood to go off on this bitch. I'm sure you're happy seeing me like this. You already have everything you wanted, and now seeing me like this, life couldn't get any better. Bitterness seeped into me, and words started flying out of my mouth without filter. But honestly, I didn't care. I was so consumed by anger that I only saw Lisette in front of me. Even though 2 of my friends are also there in front of her, but I guess they didn't want to remove the character models. What exactly am I to you? Just another part of your obstacle course? Is that what I am? I'm sick of it, Lisette. I'm sick of all these charades. I'm sick of you. Gasps rose from the crowd around her, and I was brought back to the school hallway. Even my friends beside me looked at me in surprise. One girl looked like she was going to speak up, but Lisette held her hand up to stop her. There was an emotion on her face that I couldn't quite make out, but I could see a form of pity in her eyes. No, don't you dare pity me. I looked away from her. I didn't want to see that emotion in her eyes when she was talking to me. She didn't have the right to look at me that way.
I'm sorry. I know your grandfather passing away must have really taken a toll on your emotions.
I don't know what that noise was. She stepped towards me and put her hand on my shoulder, giving me a tiny smile as if for old time's sake. But for some reason, I didn't feel comforted at all. Not that I was just angry at her, but the expression on her face when she leaned in close to me contorted into something complex. Something was different about her. I couldn't quite place my finger on it, but something about her had definitely changed.
Well, I'll be going for now. Track meet responsibilities and all of that stuff. See you later.
What just happened? What just happened? What just happened? Something about Lisette made me feel uncomfortable. Like everything. I wasn't just angry, but also uneasy. What was it? I'd never seen her like that before. I decided to pay no further attention to it. She continued running down the hallway with her gaggle of friends behind her. I refocused my attention to Miss Phillips, who was walking down the hall towards me.
Is everything all right, girls?
No! No, it is not!
Nothing we couldn't handle, Mrs. P. Just a bunch of snobs.
Suzu, hush! It was nothing, Mrs. Phillips.
I see. Well, Miss Anderson, please accept my condolences for your loss.
Thank you, Mrs. Phillips. You really need to get a sweater that fits you better. I'm sorry. I had to, like, I'm in kind of like a non-filtery mood right now. Your sweater is just like, it's like the V-neck is not in the right place, and it makes like one side of your chest look bigger than the other. It's very weird. I'm sorry. I'm running on fumes right now.
Your grandfather was a good man. He really upheld the philanthropy of his company's policies, and the money that went towards charity, too.
I know. He was amazing. I really looked up to him, and I want to be as good as he was.
Well, I know that you'll be as great as your grandfather.
Hell yeah, she will. She'll be 10 times better than her grandfather.
Would I really be better than my grandfather? Everyone seemed to have high expectations for me. I wanted to do my best and make my family proud, but to be better than my grandfather? I wasn't so sure about that. From outside the window, I saw a familiar blue car pull up to the curb. Undoubtedly, it was my father in the driver's seat. Oh, my ride's here. Well, I guess I'll see you both tomorrow.
Want us to come with you?
Oh, no, it's okay. I'll be fine. See you. This is a very big car. This is a very large car, and my father is standing on, like, on the console. That's what it's called, I think. Fuck. I don't know how to car. Hey, Dad.
Hey, honey.
Fuck you. As I got into the car, I noticed my father looked troubled, clutching at his steering wheel and staring straight ahead, as if something was really bothering him. Maybe he finally came to terms with the fact that he slapped his daughter in the face! I'm not gonna get over that.
About what happened yesterday. I'm sorry for yelling at you. Does your cheek still hurt?
No, it's nothing to worry about. Yes, it is! Don't let them walk all over you, buddy!
I mean it. I shouldn't have laid a finger on you. You know that you're my most precious daughter. You're all that I have.
I don't know how to feel about this. Okay. Yet he couldn't bring himself to say what he could never say to me for such a long time. I always wanted to hear those words to affirm how he really felt, but I guess even now he couldn't say it to me. I turned my head away to look out the window. There was no point in waiting for something that was never going to come. And like that, he started to drive and the conversation between us ended. Good talk, Dad. I decided to focus my attention on the passing scenery. We were taking the usual route to my grandfather's house. It was located within the vicinity of the school district, but it was still pretty far from the school and from where our house was. He had always lived alone. He insisted on doing things by himself, even at his age, living in such a large house. I wondered, did he pass away with no one at his side as well? It sounded so lonely and sad. It was strange that he decided on living all alone in his large estate. If anything, he could have lived with us. Though he and my father probably would have given each other the silent treatment the entire time. Maybe living alone was preferable to that. I hadn't exactly... Words aren't happening. This is definitely going to be a less, like, comedy-driven playthrough than the last one. But I'm enjoying the story so far. Re-enjoying it. Again, it's been a hot minute since I played this. I actually hadn't visited him for a while. Visits to his house were most frequent when I was a child, and I had grown up long since then. The last time I visited, though, I thought he looked just as he usually was, happy and healthy. But things change. In the back of my mind, I knew that he would have to leave one day. It wasn't like humans could live forever. So why did my heart still feel so heavy? The car ride was mostly spent in silence, until he spoke up again.
How was school? Maintaining your grades, I hope.
Yeah. I've been trying my best as of so far.
Trying? That's not really doing the best you can, is it?
I'm not enjoying the conversation. You were kind of moving in the right direction, and then you just took a hard right back into asshole town. It's like you have to go under like a cave to get... Never mind. With my father, only some words I said were filtered through his ears. It was difficult to keep up a conversation without eventually talking about academics or my future, even if it was something loosely based in it. He always found a way to integrate it whenever we talked.
Anyway, your belongings are in the trunk. There isn't a lot, so I'm sure you can manage bringing them inside the house. After all, you are on the road to being independent now.
Like, you're not gonna help at all? You're not gonna... Yes, I can manage on my own. The unusual silence resumed between us. I really wasn't sure what to say around him, especially when most of the time we didn't share the same opinions. One question did linger in my mind, though. If he was going to justify acting so nonchalant at grandfather's funeral, I had the right to at least know why. Leave it alone, try again. You know what? Fuck it. I'm leaving the house. I'm pushing it. I'm pushing your buttons, Dad. So say, Dad, about you and Grandpa.
We are not talking about this.
I feel like we should be, because Grandpa did leave us yesterday, so...
I wouldn't care if he had left even long before that. I do not want to hear it, and that is the end of this conversation.
As always, he managed to shut down any other form of conversation related to him. It was just like what happened last night. I opened my mouth slightly, but closed it again. It was like talking to a brick wall. It wasn't like I could find out anything by somehow arguing my way through it. All right, then. I leaned against the car door and stared out the window. I really couldn't think. What would this place be like? I had been to my grandfather's house before, but it was one thing visiting it, and it was another actually living there. How would I manage living on my own without any training to really care for a house? I knew that naturally the bills would be paid by my parents, who inherited grandfather's stocks to the corporation, but I had never lived independently before. Thinking about it made me feel some kind of, Thinking about it made me feel like some kind of bird being pushed out of the nest. Though I was technically an adult, I felt unprepared and a bit daunted at the prospect of actually moving into a new place. Most people my age would be ecstatic moving out. After all, it would symbolize some kind of change in their lives, like being on the road to independence. But I felt like it was nothing of the sort. I really hoped I wouldn't let my parents down. I wouldn't want to let grandfather down. What would he be saying right now? I gazed up at the passing clouds in the sky. If you're out there, grandfather, how would you be doing? Would there be anything you'd want to tell me in this moment? And of course, no answer. What was I doing? Searching for an answer in a heaven that would or would not exist? I ducked my head to stare at the blur of trees and cars from the car window. My head was definitely going into the clouds there at that moment. Either way, I found myself being driven off to my new home. Oh boy, and I remember how I said at the beginning that I was glad that this had voice acting so I wouldn't, have to do a lot of talking. Boy, was I wrong! This girl's monologue goes on for ages! And I'm going to go ahead and end the episode here. Thank you everybody so much for watching. We are going to continue this in the very next episode, and hopefully we'll actually meet some of these demons that we're supposed to be seducing. For a game called Seduce Me, there hasn't been really a lot of seduction lately. But you know what? I have a feeling we're going to get to it pretty soon, so I will see you guys then. Peace!